Yom Ashura observed with due solemnity to commemorate sacrifices rendered by Hazrat Imam Hussain alayhi salam and his 72 companions. Zulzana, Tazia and Alam processions were taken out from all cities and small towns. Special security arrangements were made as police and law enforcement agencies personnel deployed to avoid any untoward incident. Indianheld Kashmir authorities imposed curfew-like restrictions to prevent Shia devotees from holding Ashura processions on Muharram 10th. Restrictions imposed in Nauhata, Khania, Safa Kadal, Maharajganj, Kotibagh and Renwari police station. New Delhi cancels Pak-India foreign ministers meeting in New York. Indian Ministry of External Affairs spokesman Ravish Kumar confirms cancellation of the meeting. Spokesperson says decision for foreign ministers meeting was taken after Prime Minister Imran Khan's letter to Indian Premier Narendra Modi. UK Independence Party leader Gerard Batten says Prime Minister Theresa May intends to betray Brexit. UK Independence Party was one of the driving forces behind Britain's vote to leave European Union. Royal Air Force celebrates centenary at Saint-Omer. In October 1914, the northern French village of Saint-Omer, close to the English Channel, saw the birth of British military flying corps. At least 42 drowned in Lake Victoria ferry sinking. Death toll could rise. Moanza District Commissioner John Mongella says rescue concentrating on finding survivors from disaster. Kremlin says US is using sanctions to squeeze Russia out of arms trade. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov calls new sanctions hostile and unpredictable. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. You are watching 92 News and my name is Faik Mahmood. Yom Ashura, the anniversary of the martyrdom of Hazrat Imam Hussain, with whom Allah was pleased, and his companions in the Battle of Karbala, was observed across the country today with great solemnity.
Zulzana, Tazia and Alam procession were taken out in all cities and towns. Security arrangements were in place to avoid any untoward incident. In Karachi, the main procession started at Nishtar Park. Several processions beside this were taken out in various parts of the city. In Rawalpindi, the central procession started from Imam Barga Ashik Hussain. Processions were also taken out in Multan. Thousands joined the procession or made arrangements to facilitate the mourners. In Peshawar, the main procession left from Imam Barga Agha Sayyid Ali Shah Rizvi. Strict security arrangements were in place to avoid any untoward incident. Well-attended processions were also taken out in Faisalabad, Sargodha and Quetta. In most cities, mobile phone services were suspended along the procession routes.
A large number of women attended the main Ashura procession in Karachi today to pay tributes to the sacrifices of Hazrat Imam Hussain, with whom Allah was pleased, and his companion.
A large number of women and children joined the central Ashura procession in Karachi besides men and youth.
जन्नत का सरदार हुसैन इब्ने अली है, बोलता कुरान हुसैन इब्ने अली है, माना के मोमिन की पहचान है कलमा, माना के मोमिन की पहचान है कलमा, मगर कलमे की पहचान हुसैन इब्ने अली है.
Children were also distributing food and drinks among the mourners marching with the procession.
आज हम जुलूस में इसलिए आए ताकि इमाम हुसैन का गम ताज़ा हो.
The central procession culminated at Imam Barga Hussainiya.
Thousands of people in communities across the country visited the graveyards on Friday on the occasion of Yom Ashura, the anniversary of the martyrdom of Imam Hussain, with whom Allah was pleased. Have a look at this report for more detail.
Most of the visitors laid farewell wreaths at the graves. Some instructed the graveyard caretakers on the maintenance of graves. All of them offered Fatiha and special prayers for the souls of their departed relatives. Major graveyards in Lahore, Sialkot, Okara, Sheikhupura, Vihari, Lasbela and Khambar saw people arriving in groups to offer Fatiha and, in some cases, to spend a at the H8 graveyard, the largest in Islamabad. The caretaker said they were used to receiving droves of people on the Ashura holiday. They said it was no different this year.
बड़े हमसे गुजर चुके हैं, उन सब को याद करना चाहिए खास मौकों पर कि आना चाहिए कब्रिस्तान, उनके लिए मग़फ़िरत की दुआ करनी चाहिए सबके लिए.
The faithful also remembered the sacrifice of Hazrat Imam Hussain, with whom Allah was pleased, and his companions. Charity food was distributed by many, including among those visiting the graveyard.
Authorities in Indianheld Kashmir imposed curfew-like restrictions in part of the valley, including Srinagar, to prevent Shia devotees from holding or participating in Ashura processions on Muharram 10th.
Heavy contingents of Indian troops and police officials have been deployed in Srinagar and other towns to prevent mourners from carrying out Muharram procession and anti-India rallies after Friday prayers. Restrictions were imposed in the parts of Srinagar falling under the jurisdiction of Nauhata, Khania, Safa Kadal, Maharaja Ganj, Koti Bagh and Renwari police stations. Despite the restrictions, a large number of mourners led by Hurriyat leader Nisar Hussain Rattar tried to reach the city center. However, Indian police detained scores of them near Srinagar's Badshah Chowk area, Kashmir Media Service reported. All Pakistan Hurriyat Conference Chairman Mir Wais Umar Farooq tweeted that curbs, curfews and house arrests are continuing in the Rasti Valley even on Ashura. No Friday prayers allowed at many mosques in the city, including Jamia Masjid by the rulers.
India on Friday cancelled a meeting between Foreign Minister of the country and Pakistan scheduled to take place in New York on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly session. Speaking to reporters in New Delhi, Indian Ministry of External Affairs spokesman Ravish Kumar announced the cancellation of the meeting.
The Indian government has cancelled the meeting between foreign ministers of India and Pakistan, which was scheduled to take place in New York. Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ravish Kumar said the cancellation was on account of alleged killing of 3 Indian policemen and a border security forceman in Indian-occupied Kashmir. On Thursday, Kumar had confirmed that Qureshi and Savraj would meet on the sidelines of the UNGA in New York later this month. Qureshi called the development unfortunate. He said it appeared as that the Indian government was facing domestic pressure. He said there were no concrete reasons for the cancellation of talks. Qureshi said he saw the cancellation as missed opportunity. He also said it takes 2 to tango. Talks will only be held in dignified manner.
The United States earlier today welcomed a meeting between the foreign ministers of India and Pakistan, which was scheduled on the sideline of the ongoing annual United Nations General Assembly session. State Department spokesperson Heather North said that's a terrific news for the Indians and Pakistanis to be able to sit down and have a conversation together.
The United States welcomed a meeting between the foreign ministers of India and Pakistan scheduled on the sidelines of the ongoing annual United Nations General Assembly session. Indian government later today cancelled the scheduled summit. We saw that report from meetings between Indian and Pakistan leaders. I think that's terrific news for the Indians and Pakistanis to be able to sit down and have a conversation together. State Department spokesperson Heather North told reporters at her daily news conference. North also welcomed the exchange of messages between Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan and his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Imran Khan had earlier responded to Indian Premier Narendra Modi's letter. On Thursday, spokesperson Ministry of External Affairs Ravish Kumar announced that India had agreed to a meeting between Foreign Ministers Sushma Swaraj and her Pakistani counterpart Shah Mahmood Qureshi on Pakistan's request.
More news stories lined up right after a short break. Keep watching 92 News. Welcome back after the break. UK Independence Party leader Gerard Batten said that Prime Minister Theresa May intends to betray Brexit.
Speaking at the party conference in Birmingham, Britain said that the government would like to reverse the decision of the referendum, but failing that would settle for Brexit in name only.
Well, we haven't left the European Union yet, that's for sure. Mrs May and her cross-party Westminster establishment have no intention of fully implementing a complete exit from the European Union if they can possibly avoid it. They'd like to reverse the decision of the referendum altogether, but failing that, they will settle for Brino, Brexit in name only.
He made the comments a day after European Union leaders rejected key parts of May's Brexit deal proposals at an informal summit in Austria.
Mrs May and her Tory government intend to betray Brexit. I have absolutely no doubt about that. Only UKIP will continue the fight to get Britain out of the European Union completely.
The UK Independence Party was one of the driving forces behind Britain's vote to leave the European Union under former leader Nigel Farage.
We should offer reciprocal terms for citizens' rights to EU citizens already resident in the UK, but such a deal must be reciprocal to UK citizens on the continent.
Since the 2016 Brexit vote, UK IP has struggled, seeing its support evaporate in a 2017 election and undergoing a lengthy struggle to find the right leader to replace the talismanic Farage.
Strong winds and heavy rain have caused travel disruption and flooding to parts of the UK. Storm Bornag, the second named storm of the year, swept eastwards across Wales and England overnight with gusts reaching 78 miles per hour.
Flooding and fallen trees have caused problems on the roads and disrupted rail services. Sheffield and Stanley-Bridge Poise both got around half a month's rainfall in 24 hours. A yellow weather warning for wind is in force for parts of England and Wales until 18 BST on Friday. However, forecasters said the impact of the storm was waning and will mainly affect offshore areas in the northeast of the country. Speed restrictions were in place for many trains across the network in Wales and the west and north of England. Some LNER train services on the East Coast Main Line have been cancelled because of damage to overhead lines near Durham that engineers worked overnight to fix.
UK Housing Minister James Brockenshire said on Friday that British Prime Minister Theresa May's checkers plan for Britain's departure from the EU was still achievable, despite European leaders branding the plans unacceptable.
UK's Housing Minister James Brockenshire said that Prime Minister May's checkers plan for Britain's departure from the EU was still achievable.
I believe that a deal is still very firmly achievable, and that's why we remain focused on getting the EU to engage on the substance of the Chequers Agreement, where they have indicated that there are positive aspects to take from that, and our clear sense on both sides is that people want to do a deal. But ultimately, you have to be prepared to walk away if something is not in our national interests, particularly in something that might split up our United Kingdom with separation of Northern Ireland from Great Britain. But we remain positive as to what can be achieved. Obviously, we prepare for all outcomes and we don't expect or want to see a no deal delivered. But ultimately, we remain focused on the Chequers Agreement and getting that positive outcome for our country.
French President Emmanuel Macron said in Salzburg he expects new proposal from Britain in October. Labour's Brexit spokesperson Keir Starmer said a no deal Brexit must not be accepted and that May needed to acknowledge the necessity of a customs union and a single market deal for the Northern Ireland border and British economy.
No, we should never accept that no deal is inevitable. No deal would be catastrophic for our economy, plunging it into real crisis, and for many other areas. So we cannot accept no deal. And really, the next 4 weeks should be all about how does the Prime Minister avoid that. She can only avoid that by being more realistic. She needs to accept that we need a customs union and a strong single market deal, both for the Northern Ireland border, but also for our economy.
Earlier in the week, EU leaders said they will push for a Brexit deal next month, but warned May that if she will not give ground on trade and the Irish border by November, they are ready to cope with Britain crashing out. Britain is due to leave the European Union on March 29.
London Biennale is one of the prestigious designs events in the world, and 40 countries are participating in the festival. Pakistan's pavilion is attracting visitors and presenting true image of Pakistan. More from UK Bureau Chief Ghulam Hussain, who is with one of the organizers, Majid Majid. Tell us about it, Ghulam.
Yes, we are here in London Biennale 2018 and we are in Pakistani pavilion. One of the organizers, Majid Majid, is with us here, and let's find out what is the purpose of this Pakistani pavilion in this exhibition. Yes, Majid.
The purpose of this pavilion is really to convey an element of soft power on behalf of Pakistan, and within that the design capability of various people from within Pakistan. So our production company, Wagging Tongue Productions, was honoured to have the opportunity to represent Pakistan at the London Design Biennale here at Somerset House. We worked very closely with the Karwan Crafts Foundation, who provided the input in terms of design as well as textile craft for our installation. Our installation is textile centric. It looks to convey the emotional states of the 100 artisans who worked on the installation that is part of the design. Within the installation, there is textile, there is an element of film. So Mariam Majid, the designer, the lead designer, made a 5-minute film that is projected on the canvas of textile. There is also computational art by Mehrbano Khatak and sound design by Ahmed Nasir. And the idea really is to convey that Pakistan has many facets and is excelling in design, in film, as well as creative arts.
Is the first time Pakistan participating in this exhibition? Or?
This is the second time the Biennale is being held and the second time that Pakistan is participating. It did really well 2 years ago, and we were really looking to build on that. And so we tried our best.
The Pakistani pavilion at the International Biennale 2018 in London is attracting a large number of visitors. On Friday, the organizers paid tributes to the hard-working women associated with the garments industries. Dozens of countries are participating in the event. Ghulam Hussain reports on this.
More than 40 countries are taking part in Biennale 2018. The Pakistani pavilion is a focus of attention for a majority of the visitors. Tributes were paid on Friday by the event organizers to the women associated with the Pakistani garments industry. A documentary on Pakistani dresses and embroidery was also screened on the occasion. Talking to 92 News UK, Pakistan Pavilion organizers Abid Majid and Mariam Majid said that the theme was meant to recognize and inspire the hard-working women of underdeveloped areas.
हमने इस एग्जीबिशन के लिए कोई 9 महीने काम किया. पहले तो पिच किया विक्टोरिया एंड एल्बर्ट और म्यूज़ियम और लंदन डिज़ाइन बिएनाले को. हमें जब अल्लाह का शुक्र है मैंडेट मिला तो फिर हमने कई ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ काम किया. उसमें से गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने हमें सपोर्ट किया, प्राइवेट सेक्टर पाकिस्तान ने भी हमें सपोर्ट किया.
ये जो लंदन डिज़ाइन बिनाले में जो पाकिस्तान पवेलियन में आंगन इंस्टॉलेशन डिस्प्ले पे है, इसमें ख़वातीन की कहानियाँ, ख़वातीन का काम और पाकिस्तानी दही ख़वातीन का काम इस लेवल पे आके उनकी मजबूती और उनकी जो उनकी रेजिलियंस की कहानियाँ हैं वो सामने आई हैं.
The festival will continue till Sunday.
British and French military and civil officials gathered to celebrate the Royal Air Force centenary in Saint-Omer.
In October 1914, the northern French village of Saint-Omer, close to the English Channel, saw the birth of the British Military Flying Corps. At that time, the first squadrons of Royal Flying Corps landed at the Aerodrome des Bries after recognition missions to stop strategic enemy positions in the region.
In remembering what we have sacrificed together, we celebrate the values we share and the enduring friendship between our two nations. it is fitting that the centenary of the Royal Air Force should be commemorated at this site, in so many ways the spiritual home of the Royal Flying Corps and the birthplace of the Royal Air Force.
The aerodrome soon became the most important military base for British operations in France, with more than 5,000 soldiers coming from Britain and the Commonwealth.
Whatever happens in political circles, do not let us allow the relationship that we have formed here at Saint-Omer between the United Kingdom and France as brothers in arms ever suffer, because no single nation in the future will fight a war alone. It will be us together that will prevail.
The historical episode created tight links between the Royal Air Force and the French city of Saint-Omer. Until today, soldiers of Squadron 41 of the Royal Air Force still wear on their uniform the symbol of the northern city, a cross with a double red line.
At least 42 people drowned when a ferry sank in Tanzania's Lake Victoria, and government officials feared the final death toll could be more than 200, a senior local official said.
Mwanza District Commissioner John Mongela said rescues were concentrating on finding survivors from the disaster and that 2 other vessels had been diverted to help in the operation. Initial estimates showed that MV Nairi was carrying more than 300 people on board. It went down in the afternoon just a few meters from the dock in Ukrif district, according to National Ferry Services operator TMESA. But it was hard to establish the precise number of passengers on board, since the person dispensing tickets had also drowned, with the machine recording the data lost.
Vietnam's President Truong, a former chief of internal security who became one of the most high-profile leaders in the communist-ruled country, died on Friday after an illness, state media said.
Khuong, 61, died in a military hospital in Hanoi of a serious illness despite efforts by domestic and international doctors and professors, Vietnam television said. He had hosted a reception for China's Supreme Court chief on Wednesday, state-owned newspaper Vietnam News said. Khuong had been ill for months, said former health minister, who now oversees health care for high-ranking officials. Before his April 2016 appointment as president, Khuong had been Minister of Public Security, heading an organization with broad powers responsible for intelligence gathering and thwarting domestic and foreign threats to the party. Khuong was appointed to the role in April 2016 and officially sworn in July of the same year. Originally from a small farming community 115 kilometers south of Hanoi, Khuong rose through party ranks to become a police general and member of Vietnam's powerful decision-making Politburo. As president, he met several head of states including US President Donald Trump and Barack Obama, China's President Xi Jinping and Philippine President. Khuong also hosted the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Da Nang in 2017. Rumors of Khuong's ill health had been swirling on social media for months.
Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that imposing sanctions on buyers of Russian weapons and on people associated with the Russian military, the United States is trying to squeeze out competitors in the global arms trade.
The Trump administration imposed sanctions on the Chinese military on Thursday for buying fighter jets and missile systems from Russia, in breach of a sweeping US sanctions law punishing Moscow for meddling in the 2016 US election, something Russia denies. Peskov called the new sanctions hostile and unpredictable, but did not say how Russia would respond.
China's foreign ministry on Friday said it strongly urged the US to withdraw the sanctions on the Chinese military a day after the Trump administration imposed them from buying fighter jets and missile systems from Russia, in breach of a sweeping US sanctions law punishing Moscow for meddling in the 2016 US elections.
In Beijing, the Chinese government expressed anger and demanded the sanctions be withdrawn. China has normal military exchanges and cooperation with Russia aimed at protecting regional peace and stability, which is not against international law or aimed at any third party, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Gang Shuang added. The US State Department said it would immediately impose sanctions on China's Equipment Development Department, the branch of the Chinese military responsible for weapons and equipment, and its director Li Shangfu for engaging in significant transactions with Rosoboron Export, Russia's main arms exporter. They blocked the Chinese agency and Li from applying to export license and participating in the US financial system. It also added them to the Treasury Department's list of specially designated individuals with whom Americans are barred from doing business.
The US-China trade war didn't stop dozens of Chinese customers lining up outside Apple stores in Hong Kong and Beijing to get their hands on the new iPhone X series that went on sale on Friday.
While fewer people waited in queues for the new iPhones compared to previous years, customers believed that the new smartphones were still attractive given improvements on a wide range of functions, even with the absence of a striking new feature. Traders were seen outside the Hong Kong Apple store bidding for new iPhones from customers who had purchased them in-store. Local media reported that the bidding price was several hundred Hong Kong dollars higher than the official price. Customers said they were not worried about the US-China trade war affecting the price of new iPhones.
A female worker at a New York City daycare center stabbed 3 infants and 2 adults early on Friday, injuring 1 child seriously, then cut her own wrist, police said.
The incident occurred at the daycare center in the borough of Queens at about 3:30 a.m. EDT. A spokesman for New York City Police Department said the unidentified worker stabbed 2 infant girls and 1 infant boy, as well as a man believed to be a father of one of the children and a female co-worker. Police said one of the infants was in serious condition, the police spokesman said.
Thousands gathered in Barcelona on Thursday to mark the first anniversary of police raid on Catalan government offices in the Mediterranean city, a move that sparked a huge demonstration ahead of banned vote on a split from Spain.
Streets in downtown Barcelona were filled with banners showing pro-independence jail politicians and civil rights activists. The raid and subsequent protests stoke a feral atmosphere that saw Spanish police wielding batons and firing rubber bullets at crowd attempting to vote in the referendum on October the 1st. One image that flashed around the world. During the September 20 protests, Spanish police were trapped inside a Barcelona building and their vehicles were destroyed as anger among those favoring independence boiled over. The Spanish police were trying to halt the referendum. The rally was attended by current regional leader Quim Torra and Catalan Parliament Speaker Roger Torrent and demanded the release of some jailed Catalan leaders and to push ahead with the independence drive. People chanted pro-independence slogan in Catalan, shouting freedom for political prisoners. After the vote on October 1, Catalonia made declaration of independence that led to Madrid taking over the regional administration. Since then, pro-independence forces have returned to power in the regional parliament. Polls show those wanting secession and those preferring to stay part of Spain roughly evenly split, leading to a deep divide in Catalan society.
That's all from the news studio. For more details, you can visit our website 92NewsHDUK and keep watching 92 News.